people are probably thinking about like price because this industry, it seems like the prices could actually vary depending on the number of factors. So how do you determine, or how did you determine how much you charge for your services when you first started out, and maybe even later on if you start changing?
Right. So one thing that is there's a big misconception about pressure washing and exterior cleaning is that because people think that it's so easy to get it started in that by definition you should charge in accordance to how much it costs to complete that service. But that's very incorrect because if you had a barber, would you want that barber who's experienced to cut his prices because barbering is so simple? No, you're paying for someone to execute and provide a service in a well-mannered, great job. So going into the game, I already knew that I didn't want to be one of the small guys that were just doing stuff for $50. So what I was able to what I focused on in the beginning was how can I find quality individuals who value time as opposed to price. So in essence, I cut majority of the people out of the picture who were just focusing on price. So that way price was not a negotiation. So now let's look at value. So Alex Hormozy talks about this, but the value equation, and I won't go into details about it, but essentially I've identified that these individuals who care about value want things done in a certain way, in a certain manner, fairly quickly. And if you can execute that, I'll pay you your premium price. So I realized that if I can find those people who need this service, I can charge not a crazy premium price, but a somewhat middle ground to where it's a great service, but it's somewhat underpriced to where they feel like they're getting a deal. So I simply just did a quick formula, and anytime that I go out and provide an estimate on the job, I'll tell them the price, which varies based on square footage, housing size, how big is the driveway, how big is the patio, et cetera, et cetera. And then I'll just present them the price. And the difference for me between other guys is that most people will say the price and then just walk away. But the secret I picked up was like, as a hustler, was like everything is up for negotiation. So if they say, hey, no, you know what? I'm not interested in that price. That doesn't mean you should walk away. Ask them, hey, well, how much were you thinking of budgeting at the time? That's what starts the conversation. Now, when I know their budget, now I can negotiate. Now I can decide, hey, if they want me to do it for 150 and I feel like I want to do it for 150, I'll do it for 150. If I don't feel like doing it for 150 today because I have so many other clients coming in today, I'll just say no. But at least now the conversation has happened. And now what that does is that tells the customer that you're flexible. And I get in 9 times out of 10, it's always happened. Every time I was willing to negotiate on price and keep, help them stay within budget, they always call me back at some point again to service another one of their properties. But it's because I opened up the door to being okay with negotiation. So that's how I priced it for me.
Yeah, this reminded me of something that Phil Grove said from the Big Dogs. That's the organization I'm a part of, Real Estate Wise. And he has not the Midwest, he has an accent. I was going to try and do it, but he has a broadcast accent. But I was born in Texas, so I don't think I could even try and do it. I'll just say the words. But the way he puts it, anything that's not as a real estate investor, anything that is not generating cash flow is a what we call a minimum wage activity. So we do not cut our own lawns. We do not do this. We do not do that. So the way you scale up is the moment you can start to afford to outsource the stuff you do it because we do not want you doing minimum wage activities. The
Mhm.
thing is, some of these things may start to cost, but if your time is finding deals and closing on deals and making money, obviously you can afford to pay people to do the minimum wage activities, so your time can remain free to do more deals, get more cash flow, and acquire more property. So what's the first thing you want to do? You want to start to outsource the minimum wage activities. I say all that to say that you can bump into some, and look, this is a millionaire real estate investor. And there are plenty of people with that mentality. So if you're targeting these type of people, like Josh is saying, all you got to do is put yourself in the right. Um, Basically, you're targeting them and say, "This is what I can do, and I can do it within this time frame." And time is the magic word for people like this. Well, you're saying you can save me time. I don't have to do this stuff. Oh, and I also don't have to worry about haggling you to do it. This can just be off my mind within X amount of minutes or hours or whatever. Well, how much do you charge? Okay, done. Can you get started now?
That's the key right there. Can you get started right now and be ready to go when because they're ready to pay you. You better have your equipment ready to go to get started. Or, oh, I'll be right back. Give me about an hour. I'm going to Home Depot. You don't even have to tell them. Boom, you back ready to making money. What's up?
Yeah, you want to talk about hustler's gonna hustle. That's what we're talking about right there. We say ready to get the money.
That's right.
And as far as price goes, so many people overthinking, like you said, and you did the research to figure out what you should be charging based on that principle. But let's just say if someone, for whatever reason, you have a brain fart and you just don't know what to charge, I always just ask, well, how much did you have in mind? How much do you have in mind budget wise for this? And they can tell you where their head is at. And I'll say this: when someone, can also be a disqualifier because honestly, you shouldn't work with everyone. This is a way to keep yourself away from dealing with low hanging fruit. If they say, "Oh, I hadn't thought about it," or they don't have a budget, or they just didn't think about a budget, I might just start pulling back because I don't have time for that. If you haven't even thought about how much you'd be willing to pay for this, chances are you don't have it to spend in the first place. So
that's right.
Yeah.